To many, one-day races provide the backdrop for the best racing cycling can offer. A do-or-die, now-or-never environment that brings out the best in a rider. And the most prestigious is a World Championship. Each year brings a different course, a different set of challenges, and is catered to a different sort of rider. In 2013, it was all about the climbers. The 2013 World Championships took place in the beautiful region of Tuscany, the 13th time Italy had hosted the World Championships. The course was absolutely brutal. The final loop of the race was 16.6 kilometers long, with a 4-kilometer climb and then a short, steep climb via Salviati. These all provide valuable places for attacks in the closing 10 laps of the loop. All in all, the riders will be approaching over 3,000 meters of climbing on the day. And the course meant that the favorites would be the climbers, finally getting their shot at a world championship after a year meant for hill specialists and then a sprinter's delight before that. The start list was filled with favorites, and perhaps the biggest was the national hero, Vincenzo Nibali. He had won the Giro d'Italia that year and had just finished second at the Vuelta, defeated by an ancient Chris Horner, so now doubt about his form has snuck in, though it's arguable that the Vuelta could have been a B goal and a World Championship won on home soil was his A goal. Another Grand Tour winner from that season would be on the start line as well, Chris Froome. The Tour de France winner would have top-level support from riders like Geraint Thomas, but Froome has never shown any promise in one-day races, a completely different beast from his preferred style of Grand Tour racing. Colombia had an incredible lineup of climbers, Nairo Quintana and Rigoberto Urán, the standouts among them. Australia would show up with former world champ and tour winner Cadel Evans, as well as Richie Porte. Spain would be one of the strongest teams on the road, lining up with Joaquin Rodriguez and Alejandro Valverde. Rodriguez has had a career thus far that is both incredible and frustrating. He's been on so many Grand Tour podiums, won stages in Il Lombardia, but a huge signature win has still eluded him. For Valverde, he has won so much, except for the World Championships. He's finished on the podium 4 times, and this could be his best shot to break the curse. There's outsiders, of course. Defending champion Philippe Gilbert, Bauke Mollema, Rui Costa, and Daniel Martin all have a chance, but it'll all be decided on the road. So, on a rainy Sunday, 208 riders set off to try and write their names in history. As is tradition, an early breakaway with no hope of winning goes on the attack. For the first 100 kilometers, Great Britain leads the peloton, with hopes of supporting Chris Froome. The race reaches the 10 laps of the Florence circuit, and the home team took control. There's already been a handful of crashes up to now, and both Daniel Martin and Cadel Evans have had to abandon the race. Halfway through the race now, and the lead group has been reduced to just 60 men, and despite all their work, not a single British rider is here, nor would a single one even finish the race. Nibali, Valverde, Rodriguez, Costa, Gilbert are still here, as are Peter Sagan and Fabian Cancellara, hanging with the climbers on their terrain. The final time of Fiesole. There's 40 riders left, and right now, the late Michele Scarponi is pressing on, Nibali's Italian compatriot looking to make the race tougher for everyone else. Carlos Betancourt, the Colombian, picks up the chase behind for Urán, and Rui Costa is towards the front as well. Then it's Rodriguez who attacks, the first of the main protagonists to do so. This sets off a chain reaction of who can and can't follow, and a selection of an elite few has been made. These elite are Nibali, Scarponi, Costa, Rodriguez, Urán, Sergio Henao, and Alejandro Valverde. Nibali attacks, and Rodriguez covers the move immediately. The pair are eventually pulled back by Costa, Aran, and Valverde, and today's winner will come from this group. As they near the top of the climb, Rodriguez attacks again, an endless well of energy in his legs, and Nibali follows again, the two of them continuing to take the initiative. Over the top of the climb, and with 10.5 kilometers left, the duo have a 5-second lead as they begin the descent. There's still the Via Salviati climb to go, and a descent and a few flat kilometers to the finish. This is a very tricky descent, and the slick roads are not making it any easier, as evidenced by Aran crashing on the road, taking a corner too wide and tumbling over the bars. Now the race is down to 4. Rodriguez is now solo on the front, a few seconds over Nibali, Costa, and Valverde. Valverde is in the best spot here. He won't be expected to chase down his teammate and can hold back a little bit for the finish. But there's also the nagging fact that there's personal pride on the line, and the rainbow bands are calling him. Nibali is chasing and frustrated that no one will share in the work, but Costa won't pull through. It's strange that Nibali, regarded as the best descender in the peloton, was even dropped by Rodriguez to be in this situation. The gap is now 10 seconds. The trio still is not truly chasing. They are all battling the steep inclines, and at the top, the gap is just 4 seconds with 5 kilometers left. The gap has finally been closed by Nibali, and now the group of 4 is together as we watch and wait for the next move. A left-hander into one final kicker. And guess who attacks again? Rodriguez. The pressure is still on Nibali to respond, Valverde and Costa just following his wheel. The gap is not big, a handful of bike lengths at most, but with just 2 kilometers to go, that could be all that's needed, especially through these constant corners. Heading into a hairpin bend, Costa makes his move, deciding to truly race. Valverde doesn't follow. He just continues to mark Nibali. Now it's a long, slow drag race to the line. Rodriguez on the front, and in the camera shot, slowly closing in, is Costa. Every pedal stroke matters. Rodriguez battling for the biggest win of his career and to finally shed the weight of endless podiums and disappointments. Costa battling against the odds, trying to upset all the favorites and truly put himself on the map. Costa catches Rodriguez's wheel, and now they sit up. The cat and mouse game that plays out so often is now underway again. Does Rodriguez have anything left? Does Costa? Rodriguez turns back and talks to Costa, trying to goad him, push him into attacking first and making a mistake. But Costa doesn't break. 300 meters to go. It's Costa that jumps first on Rodriguez's right, and the two are pouring everything they have left onto the pedals and dancing across the road by a wheel. It's Costa taking the biggest win of his career. Back behind, Valverde takes a sprint for third, and Nibali misses the podium entirely. The varying emotions on the podium are staggering. Valverde, stoic. Costa, in shock. Rodriguez, weeping. Quote, "The situation was perfect for Spain, because I told Alejandro to go on the wheel of whoever chased after me. When I saw Rui Costa come across alone, I didn't understand what had happened, but I knew I was riding for second." Valverde's emotion in his response was hard to pin down. Quote, "For sure, I would prefer that this medal was gold, but if I didn't win, it's only because I couldn't. When Rui Costa attacked, he was very strong. I simply could do no more." And here's where we need to mention that Costa and Valverde did ride on the same trade team, the team that paid their wages, so that could have played into it. For his part, Nibali rightfully pointed out how poorly the Spaniards had played it. Quote, "I think the Spanish rode badly, because it was Rui Costa who won in the end, no?" And Costa was excited, obviously, but it's hard to not watch the end of this race and feel heartbroken for Rodriguez. As the man himself said, quote, "Clearly, this is Purito's destiny, to lose the Giro by a whisker, then the Vuelta, and now the Worlds."